What's up, mathematicians? Today we are getting an introduction to the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane, what am I even talking about, you might be asking? Well, we use something called the coordinate plane to, oftentimes it's used with maps or directions, the location of things. Maybe you've played a game before where you've needed to find the coordinates, or you've watched a movie and they're referencing something called coordinates, and that's really what they're talking about. Let's get right into it. So over here, you see this, to you it might look like just an X, and then these sections here with these numbers, including negative numbers, and you might be wondering what this is. Well, this is the coordinate plane, and I'll give you a quick breakdown of how the coordinate plane is set up. Basically, you have a line that is horizontal and goes, left to right, and that is called the x-axis. And all of these numbers correspond to the x-axis. And then you've got, let me use a different color. Let me put this down there. Let me use blue. You've got this line that runs up and down, and that is called the y-axis. I can't write today. The y-axis. And these numbers that go up and down, those correspond to the y-axis. And traditionally, the way it works with a coordinate plane is you've got 4 sections. So you've got this section here, and we call that a quadrant. Whoa, that is a big word, right? Quadrant. And this root here, quad, stands for 4, quadrant. This is actually quadrant 1. Then this area here is quadrant 2. This area here is quadrant 3, and then this here is quadrant 4, and we usually use Roman numerals, this style of writing, to describe quadrants. One way of thinking about these quadrants, and you don't really need to know this quite yet, is that, let me use yellow, this section here, these are all called positive, the positive coordinates, meaning, so you can see here, that you've got positive numbers. So anything in this space will have positive coordinates. Let me give you an example. If you have the coordinate 4, 3, and this is how you write it. You write the coordinate 4, 3, like that. And this is the x coordinate, this is the y coordinate. X always comes before y. It's separated by a comma, and it's always put into these parentheses. So if the x coordinate is 4, you go 4 to the right on the x coordinate, and 3 up, and then that is see how it corresponds with that 3 on the y-axis. And over here is point 4, 3. Now, in quadrant 2, you have negative x and positive y. Again, you don't really need to know this right now, but let's say your coordinate is -2, 4. All that means is you're going to go left, -2, and then up 4. And then that is -2, 4. And then when we go to quadrant 3, which is over here, we're dealing with all negatives, so it's a negative x and a negative y. So as an example, you might have -2, -2. Go left 2, down 2, and that's that point. And then in quadrant 4, you have a positive x and a negative y. So let's say you have the coordinate 5, -1. It would be, you go on the x coordinate to the number 5, and then -1 would be right here. So that's where that is. But today, since we're just starting to learn, we're only going to deal with positive coordinates. This is a positive coordinate plane here. And basically, the most important thing for now that you need to know is how to write the coordinates. Let's start with, I'm going to make some coordinates here. And we often give these points a name. So let's just say it's A, B, C, D. And if someone said, where is A? You could say A is at, let me actually not put an equal sign. A is at coordinates 2, 6. Where is B? Well, B, we go 6, 6. So it's B would be 6, 6. Where is C? C would be, let's see, it's at 6. Then you go up 2, so 6, 2. And remember, it's really important that when you're writing these, you don't do, like for C, that you don't do 2, 6, because that's a totally different location. That would actually be all the way where A is. And you don't want to get A and C mixed up, right? So it's important to put it in this exact format with X first and then Y. And coordinates are always written in between parentheses with a comma. Well, that's a terrible comma. The comma in between. And finally, we've got D. Where is D? D is at 2, 2. So that's basically the idea. And you know what we've just made here is kind of a square. Sometimes you can have points that when they connect together, they make a shape. But here is an example of something more realistic of, how we use coordinates. You can imagine they use these when they're making maps, when they're drawing borders, when dealing with anything that involves location, distance, measurement, that sort of thing. And so let's say someone said to me, roughly tell me the coordinate on this map of Los Angeles. Well, when I look here, I see it's here, which is at the X coordinate is 5. I just covered up the, oopsie doopsie. I covered up the 5. And then the Y coordinate is also at 5. Oh, whoopsies. Oh my goodness, what am I doing here? Let me write this all again. So it's 5, 5 is where Los Angeles would be. Now San Antonio over here, where would that be? That would be at 12, 3. So San Antonio's at 12, 3. Got Miami over here. Where is that? That is at 18, 2. And here we've got Ottawa in Canada. And where is that? I need to draw a line. Let's see to get it right. I can see that it's at 1910. 1910. And that's one way of also thinking about it, about how we might use it in real life. Well, that's it for today. That's just our basic introduction to the coordinate plane. And you will be using this again and again over time. But for now, these are the basics. Until next time.